Hi, I'm Jimmy, and greetings from the neighborhood. It seems like every time I check in with one of these videos, which is like once a year at this point, Fred just keeps getting more and more relevant now with the release of It's a Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood and a Golden Globe nomination for Tom Hanks. So it seems like an ideal time to check back in with the neighborhood, and what better time to do that than during Christmas time? But since I can't find the hour-long holiday special Christmas Time with Mr. Rogers that aired in December of 1977, and if anyone knows where I can find that, please let me know. Let's take a look at a vaguely Christmas-themed episode that aired in February of 1983. For some reason.
It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we're friends. You always make each day a special day for me.
What do you think might be in this box?
In this episode, Fred brings in a box from a costume store and begins to try it on piece by piece. Yes, it's a Santa Claus suit, and Fred soon realizes it's not exactly a perfect fit.
Oh boy. It's really big.
Fred tries all the parts on, as he so often did with costumes. Fred wanted you, the viewer, to know that it was always him underneath the costume. It didn't change who he was inside or underneath. That's something Fred always stressed.
Boy, this is so big on me. Makes me feel little.
Fred delivered that in the most Jimmy Stewart way imaginable. Fred then has an idea of someone else the suit might fit.
I know somebody who works in a bakery. Do you think Chef Brockett might look good in this?
He calls up Chef Brockett to see if perhaps he'd like to try on the suit. Now listen to this one-sided phone conversation right here.
Hi, Dawn. It's Fred. I have a Santa suit here that's too big for me. I wondered if you'd try it on for me and my friend. Good, you're not too busy. Okay, we'll come over. Fine, thanks very much. Alrighty, bye.
Now this is probably not a real phone, I'm guessing. Fred is just acting here, or as he would say, pretending. But man, was he good at that. You could totally imagine the person on the other end. One-sided phone acting. Not an easy task. Fred makes it look easy. So here we are at Brockett's Bakery, where Betty Aberlin and Mrs. Schenk are making plans to put in a soda shop into the bakery, which would be featured a few episodes later. Brockett tries on the suit and surprises the onlookers, including Francois Clemens, who drops by for a visit. It's in this scene where the group sets up a lot of the things that will be paid off in the make-believe segment. Francois especially, who expresses that as a child, he was afraid that Santa would see him do bad things, because good people sometimes do bad things.
When I was little, I was one of those people who used to worry about what Santa Claus thought about what I was doing. Good people sometimes think bad things. Good people dream bad dreams. Don't you? Good people even say bad things. Once in a while we do.
And good people sometimes make raisin pie. Ugh, raisin pie.
Okay, you ready for some make-believe? Alright, Charlie. Neighborhood of make-believe.
So now on to make-believe, and it seems that Santa Claus himself has business to do with Corny.
Was that they called and said he would be coming today.
Santa Claus in the neighborhood of Make-Believe?
Yes.
Why do you suppose he wants to come here?
Probably because Cracker Barrel rocking chairs make an awesome Christmas gift. Lady Aberlin goes to tell Daniel the good news about Santa.
I've got some very special news for you.
Oh, there's peace in reality.
No.
Wait, what? Daniel got real deep there suddenly. While that seems like kind of an arbitrary throwaway line there from Daniel, it's actually anything but. Soon the fine line between current events and the neighborhood of make-believe would move very much to the forefront in what will become one of the most controversial string of episodes in the neighborhood later that year in the week of episodes titled Conflict.
But we don't have fights with guns and bombs and stuff here.
That kind of thing must be awful.
But what if you win? You get to take everything the losers have.
We'll eventually talk about those one day.
Santa Claus is coming to the neighborhood of Make Believe.
Santa Claus? What's he gonna do to us?
Oh, well, I imagine it will be something good.
Oh, I try to be good, but I'm not always good. I think I'm afraid of Santa Claus. I wish he weren't coming here.
So Daniel's not so sure Santa coming is such a good idea. He's afraid old Kris Kringle is a bit of a judgy judgerson. Daniel's fears echo Francois' fears earlier in the episode.
Can you see people when they're sleeping? And do you know when everybody's bad or good?
Of course not. Somebody made that up about me.
Oh, that's just a bunch of fake news, Daniel, perpetrated by the liberal media. Ho, ho, ho!
Of course not. And I know that everybody's good sometimes and everybody's bad sometimes.
Oh, gee, Santa Claus, I like you.
I like you too, Daniel.
Don't sweat the little things, Daniel, says Santa. Daniel seems pleased with that answer.
I've come to talk with you about some of the things that I'd like to do for my gift.
Oh, you know what?
Yes.
You sound like Chef Rocket.
I do?
Yeah.
Awkward! And right away, Corny figures it out. Probably because Fred knew the kids at home would figure it out too. I've worn many a costume in my day. Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and kids love pointing out when they know who's underneath. Fred knew that. There's a very delicate dance going on here. We see people dressing up as Santa, we see Santa in make-believe, and then Fred sings a song about pretending.
Pretending you're a pilot or a princess. Pretending you're a doctor or a king. Pretending you're a mother or a father. By pretending, you can be most anything you want to think about. By pretending.
A very eloquent way to handle the topic of Santa Claus without giving away anything, if you know what I mean. And then Elsie Neal drops by to help us make paper beards, because you don't need a fancy costume to pretend to be Santa, just construction paper.
Very good. You know, there's some people in the world who don't know anything about Santa Claus. No, they don't think about him at all. They don't talk about him at all. But everybody in the world thinks about giving and accepting things. Sure, that's a way to say, I love you, giving something.
Here, Fred sums it up in a very simple way as only he could. It's not about Santa, it's about giving and love. Fred never patronized, even on Christmas. Or in this case, in February. Happy holidays, everyone, from Neighborhood Watch.
And you can tell that's Mr. Rogers under there, can you? Well, it is.